know it looks Korean, but it's Arab. I don't know what it is. It also looks Ethiopian. I'm hot. But
does look Amharic. Does look Amharic.
Korean or Amharic, right? Let me put it up right here. Thank you. Nice. Come sit with the ladies. You can pull your chair up as well. All right. كيف حالكم? Nancy?
This is in 2016.
What is it?
Latina.
Oh, the DNA thing. Which you just asked me that DNA thing? You know they have cameras now, you know. No, this is the most I'm saying they just look at them. The ones that they have now. Just have graphics. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I'm pretty much the same thing. Yeah, maternal is going to be probably 98% all African.
What is the name of the, is it the same as this one?
No, African ancestry is better.
Oh, okay.
African ancestry is much better because they have the largest African DNA bank in the world. Whereas everybody else they really focused on the European and the European and the Asian. Maybe not a lot of Asian, but when I say Asian, I mean like Turkey, Turkestan, Eastern Europe, that part, which really is not as deep. Just like if you go online right now and you want to learn an African language, very difficult. They have very little resources for those types of things, and that's not, unintentional. That's by design. They're trying to fade out of the language. If you fade out the language, you fade out what?
The culture.
The culture. And you may have the physical body of the people, but you have the mentality of the language they speak. When they spoke about this, years ago, when I say they, now I'm talking about, the Marcus Garvey and those people saying that if we don't do particular things, then you're going to have what we call, just for lack of better words, what they use, black body, white mind. And we see that today, don't we? We see a lot of people African descent, not just African descent, because you find it with Asians, you find it with Eastern, Europeans, who are not, quote unquote, white in the sense of the word, but everybody's following one culture, And this was something that Rothschild spoke about. Rothschild and Albert Pike, those call themselves, I call them devil worshippers, but they call themselves Masons. And this was prior to World War I. That group of people who, when they said they were going to trick the people into buying green paper, and they made a joke about it. Look, watch, we're going to make them give us their heavy weighted gold and silver and gems for some paper. And we're going to pretend like this paper is really, really important. Okay? And then we're going to trick the farmer. Rothschild said it like this. He says, look, if we make this thing look important enough, we can get a farmer to spend a whole year's worth of work just to get some of this paper. Okay? Just to get some of this paper. We can get someone who dug in a mine and found some gold, and trade it for some paper that we could print in 10 minutes. And he was saying that we could print these $100, we could print a whole bunch of these things in 10 minutes and get what a farmer worked all year to get. And then we can sell him a lamp, he said. We'll sell him a very, fancy looking lamp, And then when he buys, he'll spend that same effort, to almost half a year's pay, work, to get this lamp, and then we'll sell him the oil for the lamp. Okay? This is one conversation he was saying when he was explaining how he's going to get people away from real money to fake money. And he says, and we will be the only owners of money. Now, why did he say he was going to be an owner of money? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. What is a dollar?
It's nothing.
What? No, it is paper, but what does the word dollar mean, represent?
Currency?
No, represent,
It's a weight.
yeah.
It's the weight
Gold.
of a gold
Yeah.
or its silver equivalent.
Right.
Okay, so it's a promissory note,
That's it.
like an IOU, saying that I got this amount of this dollar's worth of gold or silver over here at home. I ain't gonna carry it around, but I got it. This paper represents it. Whenever you want it, just come get it. Okay, you got my point?
Yeah.
Now, the United States and all the different countries put their word behind their paper money.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, the United States says every dollar in this country, we vouchsafe, on our word as a country, that we have that silver or gold. Now, you take out a $5 though. No, we didn't say $5. You take out a $10. No, we didn't say $10. You say $20, $50, $100. Nah. So if you look at your dollar bill, anybody got a dollar bill? All these rich guys out here, nobody got a dollar bill. Take out a dollar bill and then take out a $5 or $10 bill. I got a $10 bill. I'll pass that around.
They don't have that stamp anymore.
Right.
For the gold.
So now look. No, I got it. Oh, yeah, give me 20. We're going to pass this around just so everybody can see. Check it out. No, I don't got a 5. You got a 5? Remember who's giving me this money. Okay? No backsies. I mean, no, look, guys, check it out. On the dollar, I'm going to pass this around. If you got it over there, just hold it out. Look, on the dollar, the United States says on the dollar, there's a stamp right there. Everybody see that stamp?
Yeah.
Focus on that stamp.
Yeah.
Okay?
Does the Department of Treasury stamp or the?
Yes, it's Department of
The green
Treasury.
one, the green one?
No, it's a stamp off to the right-hand side of the dollar. Everybody's going to look at it when we pass it around. That stamp says that this money is guaranteed in the Federal Reserve Bank of that state. This one says what? I can't see. I even got, I'm too old now. I can't see no more.
If it's B, it's the state of New York.
Bro, right? What is it? What's it?
California branch of New York. Bank of New York.
That's the Bank of New York.
Yeah,
Okay,
B,
pass
it's
that
B.
around.
They have different.
Different numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, y'all see that? Y'all pass it around. Y'all see that? Pass it around. Everybody can see that. Now, that's on a dollar bill. The state's on there. Let me check.
It's in a letter.
That right there, that's California. San Francisco, California. That's Atlanta, Georgia. Okay? Which one is that one? This is California. L is California. That says right in the right, it says the bank. Bank of California, right?
Like Richmond.
No. What that represents, guys, listen. What that represents is every state has a Federal Reserve.
Right. That's right.
Okay? A real bank.
Right.
And in that bank, they have gold and silver blocks. Now, they cannot print any money, any dollars, except that they have the exact weight for that.
Right.
Okay? They cannot exceed that. But that's only dollars. What do we say?
Dollars.
Now, that's a play on words, right?
Yes.
Because we're saying dollars. Now, you take a $5, a $10, and a $20, that stamp don't exist.
Right.
It's not on it. It's not promising you nothing. In fact, they call it deficit spending. What does that mean?
It dead, basically.
Deficient.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, Allah says what? يُحَرِّفُونَ كَلَامَ اللَّهِ. They play games with the pronunciation of the words.
Yeah.
They say, ra'ina, was-sam alaykum, right? They're playing games. If they do that with Allah's word, they do that with you. Deficit spending means we ain't got it.
We ain't got it. That's right.
And we being straight up with you. We ain't promise it to you. Only the dollar. You get it?
Yeah.
Only, see, we said the dollar. We didn't say the $5. We didn't say the $10, the $20, the $50, or the $100. Ain't they some slick something? They used to. Listen, back before 9/11, all of them had the stamp on it. What's on the second floor of 9/11 of World Trade Center? It was the Federal Vault, right? It was the World Trade Center. Listen to that.
Yeah.
So what did they need? They needed a bank there with real gold so we can do real trade. Because when you do world trade, it's like this. Every year, when Americans go to France and spend American dollars, they compare them to what the French do, come over here and spend francs. And the difference in the trade is like, okay, we give us all our francs of CFA back, and we give you all your dollars back. What's the difference? Oh, you still owe us, let's say, $1 million. Okay, well, you still owe us $1 million, and you don't got no franc CFA to give us, right? What do you got to give us?
Gold or silver.
You got to give us the gold and silver, the equivalent of what you owe us, Jack. Now, how long has America owed France? Since when? Somebody tell me.
The French and Indian War?
No, not just the French. That's not the French anymore. Civil War. I'm sorry, what do you call it? War of Independence.
Okay.
Who backed the United States in the War of Independence against Britain?
France.
Who supplied their whole navy? France.
Yeah.
France was arguing about getting their money back up until 9/11 in the UN. Talk about America, you better not be talking about nobody paying their debts. You still owe us from the War of Independence.
Is that why Lafayette was over here so long?
That's why Benjamin Franklin went to France to lobby and all of that.
Yeah,
but they got that support. The French fleet blocked the British fleet from coming in and support them. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
And that's how they were able to beat them on the ground war. They owed them since then. What happened after 9/11? You don't hear people. They gave them their gold. And they said that the gold melted. In 9/11, they said the gold on the second floor, it melted. And there's a subway under there. So us New Yorkers were like, well, we better go and see. There must be a gold train under there somewhere.
The gold never was. The gold was in the basement because it's a photo.
Listen, there ain't no basement. There's you got to think about it.
The garage, the bottom.
Okay, there's a garage off to the side, but again, that's a garage. Right under the World Trade Center is the subway. Okay? In fact, the stop says World Trade Center. I've been living there my whole life. Well, I'm not, but I grew up there. We used to get up there and come right upstairs and, ride the train, ride the elevators up to like this, whatever, the 45th floor, and then you got to get off and get on another elevator to go up another one. Or if you want to go on that one, you get on that. We used to ride them joints because you get up real high. That's the stuff you do growing up in the city, right? Ride elevators.
Well, the currency used to be backed by gold and silver.
Well, yeah, that's what this is supposed to be backed on.
50s and 60s.
No, well, you're talking about the oil bills now. That's a different whole thing now. I didn't want to talk about that for this purposes, but for the purposes of dollar, okay? Now, when he's talking about oil backs, now he's talking about the military, okay? And that's going to explain why we're in the situation we're in today. But even that goes back to this, okay? Because the formulation of those countries who decided to go to oil in the oil dollars in the 70s, okay, was because of the Vietnam War. Why were we in the Vietnam War? Why was the United States in the Vietnam War?
Supposedly communist.
No, not the fake reason, the real reason. The oil in the Gulf of Vietnam. The oil. Remember, in the South, we were backing the South. What we're getting for backing the South? Free reign in their oil fields until the war was over. What happened as soon as the war went over? Anybody remember? 75? OPEC. What happened? There was the oil crisis, right?
That's right.
Why all of a sudden was there an oil crisis? Because OPEC, the oil producing, exporting countries, decided, nah, Jack, you've been stealing oil for all this time, not paying, now you want to come? Now, we bucking up the price. Now you want to play games? Now there's no oil problem. You get my point? Until then, the 80s came and they made a deal with who? Saddam Hussein. Okay, Saddam's going to give you the oil on a price just so Saddam could fight who?
Iran.
Mm-hmm. Okay? And then when that ended, what happened? Invaded Iran, Saddam, right?
Yeah.
For the more oil. It's all about that money. Once they went to the oil standard, it became military. Give us the oil or we'll kill you. Period. That's the rule. There's no gross national product from the United States. What do we produce? McDonald's?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah,
What do we do?
No, yeah, we don't.
War. No, what can we export? Because if we export McDonald's, we don't get that money. McDonald's family gets the money. We export war. Okay? You fly our flag or we'll board you and take your stuff. That's the Navy. That's the Marine Corps. What is the Marines anyway? Anybody know?
Gangsters.
Pirates, man. Seriously,
But-
we are pirates.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are we on a boat? We're not riding it.
Right.
I mean, we're not driving it. You have the Navy for that.
That's right.
We board your boat. We don't see the UN flag, okay? On that vessel, we board you and take all your stuff. You get the point? Who's going to stop us? Who you going to tap? Well, you ain't going to live. No, seriously. Force recon, don't take prisoners. They don't have handcuffs. Everybody on the outer platform gets thrown overboard or shot.
Do or die.
That's it. Where they put so-called, where they put what's the guy they killed? They said they killed. They said what they said. They didn't kill him. They killed his son. He had been killed earlier. Okay? Osama bin Laden was killed, I think was it 2006 or something like that? It was all over the news in Africa and in the so-called Middle East. That when he got killed, that they think the army Green Beret had killed him, right? In the tunnels. They had caught him in the tunnel. They had a big shootout, and the tunnel fell down and everything. And they said, "Oh man, they got the guy." Right? But he wasn't really a big deal in the Islamic world. He was only a big deal in the European world. Okay? Because everybody knew, he wasn't a general. He wasn't in charge of no country. Well, why we care? You get my point? Now, whether he killed the World Trade Center, we don't think he did, but that's not our issue. That was their issue. But they made him a big deal. And then they said they killed him a second time, right? When the Navy SEALs went and they killed his son. But then when they were going to figure it out, they couldn't bring him back, could they? If they brought the body back, then somebody's going to do some research and they're going to have to say, well, no, this ain't him. So what they do?
Dump him overboard.
Dump him overboard. With everybody else, they dump overboard when you catch out there in the Navy or out in the world. That's the real world. And here is Disney World. Seriously? Yes. Because everybody here is oblivious to what's going on when you cross out the United States. Because you think you got this. And this is a lie. And it's not even a lie, it's telling you. If you look here on this stamp, this is the $5, the $10, and who gave me the dollar bill? We put the dollar bill up down. And now let's look at the $5, $10, and $20 bill. In that same corner, over there, it does not say Federal Bank. It says Federal Reserve System. Okay? What's that? That's the deficit system. That's the printing system. We printed it. Why? Because if you don't have it, you're going to start stressing. Right? We already pretend we got the money anyway with the credit card, right? Yeah. So what's the difference? We are admitting we don't have the money. But we're going to keep pretending like it's okay as long as we keep eating.
And keep buying stuff.
And I can keep buying stuff that I don't need. This clutters my mind. You know? Here, check it out. Pass them around. That was your introduction.
How do we get out of the world of not knowing?
Alhamdulillah. First of all, how do you get out of the world of not knowing? It's amazing. El-Hajj Malik Shabazz. Anybody know his biography? What did he say he used to do when he was a child? His mother used to make him read newspapers in different countries, right? Watch the news in different languages. He wasn't reading those different languages, but he's watching the news in different countries, right? You guys follow me or what? Yeah. If you only listen to things in English from America and BBC, you will never get the truth. You know these guys are liars, yet you listen to them. Every time they killed El-Hajj Malik Shabazz and Martin and Stephen Biko and all the different people that they have destroyed over the years. Yet you take information from them, and Allah says that Ja'akum Fasiqun, an open sinner, and they have what? Gay marriages? Is that not enough? more than that, you know? They have Bush and what's the guy, Trump. And you take information from them? Only the United States says that they landed on the moon. No country in the world even promotes that. But Americans walk around like it's the God honest truth. And if you tell them, man, nobody believes that except for me, they're like, what? You're crazy. What's wrong with you? You don't believe they went to the moon? No, impossible. You know? How you land on something that ain't got no gravity? Okay? You got no, how do you get gravity? You got to have an atmosphere, right?
That's right.
Okay? What are they talking about? How you send something to Mars when the moon is stuck in our orbit? The moon, this huge moon that we see from China to the United States, the same moon, mind you, is stuck in our orbit. And you know what? It's so stuck. Does it spin? Does the moon rotate? No. That means it's stuck like in the glass mirror going around the world like this. Why? Because it can't even turn, it's so stuck. Yet your aluminum foil, kerosene-filled spaceship pulled away from the atmosphere. Okay, pulled away from that gravitational pull, but the moon can't pull away. You get my point? And you know, because people are scientifically illiterate. Why do we have life on this planet? Because it's in the perfect rotation, orbit, right?
Right.
If it were a little bit closer, what would happen, doctor? It would burn up. And if it was a little bit further away out the rotation, what would happen?
Freeze.
So we're sending a plane to the Mars that's outside of our orbit, and it's not freezing? Do you get my point? Whoever's been in the military, been to Alaska and those cold weather places, does your machine work? It don't work. It freezes. Okay? That's on this planet. Now what happens if you get one, they say the Earth is in such a perfect rotation, if it moved an inch, the whole planet would freeze. Yet, we're sending aluminum foil. Okay, I'm making the point clear. Past our orbit. They're not crazy for lying. You're crazy for listening. You lost the benefit of reason. Why? Because we've been trained like that elephant. Put that shackle on, stamp it in the ground, he can't pull away. When he's old and big, now they put the shackle in the ground, stamp. You think that elephant can't pull away? He's been trained not to even try. And we've been trained not to even think. Whatever they say, we believe. And we go along with that. So you want to stop that, learn another language, and then listen to news in another country. Even you don't have to do that. I listen to the African Congress in South Africa, and Ghana, and Nigeria, and Tanzania, and in Kenya. I listen to what they're doing in their Congress, in their courts. I listen to what their professors are saying that have graduated from their schools to get an idea of where they're going and what they're going through and what they're saying. Have y'all been watching the African leaders in 35 different countries telling America to basically go to hell? You know? Yeah. Saying, look, we're not going to compromise our lifestyle to accept homosexuality. And they're saying if you don't accept it, we're going to stop sending you aid. They were like, yo, you eating food. What? And Uganda said, aid? You guys take food from us.
Right. Didn't Uganda capitulate on that issue?
Maybe recently, but they said, look, what are you saying about you're going to stop from giving us aid? We have never had a drought. We've never had famine. But England has been taking food for us for 500 years. Vegetables and everything. So stop coming. And what did Mugabe tell them? You keep England. Don't say, you're not going to let us in the English places. We're not trying to go to England. You guys are coming here. So you say, let us keep our country, Africa, and you keep England. You know? But we get this messed up mentality. You know? Africa wouldn't need any aid. Any aid. If you pay us for what you took. Okay? How we have a poor country when they got all these different resources and things in there, diamonds and gold and all this stuff? How does any of the other countries of non-whites have any problem when all the resources are in those countries?
They come in and recreate their fitness.
Because they come in with play games. You give me the diamond, I give you a colored piece of paper. That's why. And we accept that stupidity. You know, we don't have any honor for ourselves. So you want to learn, you want to find out what's going on, you want to break the what they call the matrix and change your mind? Learn first and foremost Arabic. That's the first thing. Because once you do that, the Quran explains all this stuff. It's revelation. It's going to let you know. And then, you know, open your mind. Then learn another language. It's not, you know, we've been taught this wrong idea that, first of all, learning language is difficult. It is not. Number two, that learning more than one language is like a myth. You know what I'm saying? It can't be done. Remember this, whoever fights for their, you know, what we call it, limitations, what happens? You get to keep it. You want to fight for your limitation? I ain't nobody's going to play to the war with you. But whatever you believe that you can do, you can do. Okay? You know, what did the guy say that? Whoever says that I can and I can't, both of them are telling the truth. Another guy said, don't worry about people slandering you, backbiting you, talking bad about you, telling you what you are and what you ain't. That don't stop you. What you say about you stops you. Okay? What you believe about you is the thing that determines whether you will be successful and accomplish your goals or not. So, bottom line to me is to be free. Meaning, meet each day with that unknown end, ready to live and do the things that you would benefit you and that you like to do, and stop being dead, procrastinating, waiting and waiting until you die. And then you're not having accomplished and left anything worth of significance, even in your own life. Capiche?
Capiche.
Alhamdulillah. So now we're going to switch to Arabic. What I asked everybody to do today was come to class and bring these things here. Everybody has these? This is our Saturday class. We're real laid back, chilling and everything like that. Everybody's happy?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Get a cheer for the Shaikh. Hey, Shaikh.
I asked him.
Okay, alhamdulillah. You should have some crayons. You should have some, what is this thing called? Sharpie. And you should also have a pencil. Hopefully a lighter pencil. Because you don't really need to see what it says in English. You guys, you get my point?
Yes.
If I say that this is a sabura, this right here is sabura, right? And I put here on the corner, every week I throw that on the floor, then put it in my bag to throw away, and then every week I pull it out my bag and try to write on the board with it. Sabura, right? Now if I put that there, do I have to say that this is a sabura? I have to put whiteboard here? Do I have to put that?
No.
No.
My question is it Sahura or Solbura?
Her question is a good question. She said, well, by writing it like this, how do I know whether it's a sa or saw? How would you know?
Capitalize the saw.
No, not just the capitalization. That's true. That might be the case. But no, not the A. Me. Me. You hear me say it. Just like when you learned English. How did you learn how to spell with? How did you know how to pronounce with and the? Author, mouth, brother, father. How did you learn that? I can't hear you. Listening and paying attention. And imitating what you heard, how you heard it. Same way. Our class is not. I've made a decision coming into this class. The thing that has broken up these classes in the past, a number of things. One of them is that we mix learning how to communicate in Arabic with learning how to read in Arabic. Now, if we separate that, now normally we say take a class on just learning how to read Arabic first. But people don't do that. They're not doing it. They're intimidated by that. And so we get a class that has a roller coaster amount of people with different meaning, different levels of Arabic in it. How do I teach all of you? I forget about teaching you how to read Arabic right now. Just like when you learned how to speak whatever language you speak now, You did not learn how to spell it while you were learning how to speak it. Is that correct?
True.
Qul na'am.
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 You see that? Did I have to write ayn?
No.
Or 9 or 3, however people write it in English? Right?
For him, now.
Now, for him too. Now? For him, nah. MashaAllah. So start imitating me. Mimic me. Say it the way I say it. Sabura.
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 Sometimes you're going to have the word raw with red. Sometimes it's going to be raw. You guys get my point?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's going to be tag. Sometimes it's going to be bar. Sometimes it's going to be her. Sometimes it's going to be ha. You hear the difference?
Yes.
Say ha.
Ha.
Say ha.
Ha.
Say sad.
Sad.
Say saw.
Saw.
The word saw is said just like you say the word I saw him. Say I saw him.
I saw him.
I saw in half.
I saw in half.
Same sound. Some people they be going like this. Swaw. 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 No. Can't. Suave, baby. You know, take it easy. You know. Afwan. Wrong language. Alamahalik. Ikhwan. Yani. We have to take it easy. You don't. Most of the sounds in the Arabic language you already know. Most of them. But we do have to go over them so that we can see what we're doing. If you don't know how to make the sound, you don't know what you're doing, do you? Right. So we can say that, man, you don't know what you're doing. So we're going to go through the transliteration and run it through. Okay, these things here, now that everybody has them, I also have brought this book here. As you can see, my book is pretty
Used.
And I've had this book for I've had this book since I was in Egypt. Okay? Now I was in Egypt right after 9/11. That's why I said I'm out of here. Now, I was living in Mauritania. I came to the United States. 9/11 happened. I said, that was a mistake. And I left. When I got back to Senegal, we were in Senegal. My daughter was sick, and we moved down to Senegal. My wives were like, man, what happened in the United States? And then we were worried about you because we had a thing called African Airlines, right? And they shut it down. They destroyed it because Bin Laden was one of the owners of it. So all of our tickets, you know, were just thrown out the window and everything like that. And so they had to do a new whole thing. So people started doing South African Airlines in West Africa. Nobody really liked it because they treat you very bad like you're in South Africa. You know, so, and this is like turn of the century, 2000, was it 1 or 2? When was that thing happening?
2001.
Okay,
2001.
so it's 2001, you know? So I said, man, you guys don't want to go back. I said, well, we want to go back and see our families. I said, no, you don't want to go back. Oh, you chump, you know? They were like, you went back, and you got to visit your family. Now you're telling us we can't go back. And, you know, I said, listen, America is different. You know, it's crazy. You know, we had to, you know, do it. I took my daughter, because I had brought my daughter to the United States because she was sick. She had malaria. So I wanted to get her, you know, even though I took her to Kings County Hospital, that doesn't make sense, right? But I brought her to the States. I took her to Kings County. We got the medicine. And then I wanted her to get out of the country right away. I had a friend who was going to France. I took pictures of my daughter and her passport and everything like that. I wrote him a letter. He took my daughter and went to France. He stayed in France about a month, and then he made his way to Senegal and dropped my daughter off in what do you call it? In Senegal with the parents. Now you can do that anywhere in the world except the United States. I wouldn't trust it because people are on their word, you know, with certain trusts and everything like that. But I did that just to get her out of. I didn't know what was going to go on. I'm in New York, you know. So when I told them that, no, you know, they said, oh, you just want to be cheap. You know, you just cheap, you know, like that. You went there, you got all the money, right? Because they think everybody overseas, even Americans, think if you went to America, you had to get all the money. You know what I'm saying? My daughters were like, Abby, you went to America, you got all the money. You know, alhamdulillah, right? So I said, no, I'm not trying to be cheap. Pick any country, any Muslim country you want to, we'll go there. You know, for modernity. You want modernity? Because, you know, Mauritania is the third poorest country in Africa. No modernity there. We thought we were doing good because we had wall-to-wall carpet in our tent. Okay? So that's modernity for us, you know? So they said, okay, let's go to Egypt. Now, compared to Mauritania, Egypt is like top of the line. You know, you made it. You see Kulthum in the sky, literally, when you show up, because they have a hotel, Kulthum and everything. Like that, none of that stuff exists in Mauritania. My children were looking at the lights go right, because there's the fan in the air, they were like, oh, wow. they were like, wow. They were getting on escalators like, ooh, look at this, you know? Because they had been raised, had never been any place like that. You know, on the airplane, it was a very big problem because they couldn't use the bathroom. They just refused. They didn't know what that was, you know? And they were screaming, you know? So, and they said, it's a jinn with a mouth, you know? It's eating garlic, you know? So that was a whole big issue. So we went to Egypt. Egypt was like, really, city. You know, rare. And I was like, man, I'm glad I never come here first. Because you would never change. If you went straight from New York to Egypt, you just changed from English to Arabic. That's it. You know, Times Square is Times Square. You know, people curse you out in Arabic. That's it. And then they got crack. They got everything. Everything you think of is in that crazy country. They call it Dunya, right? The mother of the Dunya. And they don't mean it as a compliment. So, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. That's my gain attention. This book right here is an excellent book. It's not a dictionary per se. It's more like an encyclopedia. Okay, meaning that, and it's not actually an encyclopedia. It explains the word. It shows you types of words, and even gives you a sentence using that word. Sorry? Oh, Masmuh Kitab al-Kabir. No, Al-Mughni al-Kabir. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. It says al-Kabir. It says Mughni al-Kabir. The cover hasn't lasted. Okay? That's because of customs. Okay? No, I'll pass it around.
It was kind of green and red, right?
I can't remember. The cover got pulled off in customs. They wanted to think I had something in there, so they ripped it apart. You know? It's Akbar min al-Qamus. But I'm going to pass it around so everybody can see it.
No.
Okay?
You don't recommend Hans Weir.
Do I recommend Hans Weir? Yes, Hans Weir has served its purpose. You know, it has. One of the things that we did when we were in Egypt, not Egypt, we were in Mauritania, I pulled out Hans Weir dictionary. The Shaikh said, what do you do bringing a Jew book to class? Okay? Ooh. I said, it's just a dictionary. He says, no, you get your understanding from that. Okay? So he's formulating your understanding. Right? And I was like, okay. I didn't know what to do. He said, what you need to do, if you have to use that dictionary, here, take Taj Arus, which is another dictionary, Arabic dictionary, and check every word in that dictionary. I said, Shaykh, it's going to take a long time. You, Abdul Aziz, help him. So then Abdul Aziz was like, man, I hate you. And me and Abdul Aziz, he was from Ohio. Me and Abdul Aziz, we sat there and we went through every word in Hans Weir dictionary, checking it with Taj Arus. And we learned that Lane's lexicon uses Taj Arus. You know, and different things like that. We started to look up everywhere, and we learned that Hans Weir's, we read everything. Hans Weir's brother became Muslim, okay? The Germans put the dictionary together. It has a lot to do with some of the way that the words are conjugated in German and in Arabic. They were friends with the Ottoman Empire, so they had a reason to learn Arabic, okay, at that time. It got stopped because of the war, meaning the putting together of the dictionary was stopped during that time. Hans Weir did not love the language. Because he made mistakes that anybody knowing Sarf would have easily recognized. But he gathered everything he could. So he was a good compiler, but he didn't organize it, some of the words. Most of it is the words were organized. But my only complaint could be about some words that he didn't put in under the right root. As far as his definition is concerned, Mumtaz. It's very good. And it's a usable dictionary. Now, how should you use it? Okay, that becomes the next question. You should use the Hans Weir when you're reading Arabic, trying to figure out what the word might mean. And what you should do with the Hans Weir dictionary is you should take a highlighter, tape it on a string, and then staple that to the Hans Weir dictionary. Then make a cardboard piece on the back page of Hans Weir and put little pieces of paper. Okay? Close it up. Tape it so it's strong. Okay? The back so it doesn't rip off. When you get in handswear, the way it's organized, it'll have a root word. Okay? And then the root word will be off to the side, and all the words that come under that root word will be over here, under it like this. If a new root word comes, it'll be out on the side like that. Don't touch these words. When you look up a word, anytime you look up a word, just highlight very gently the root word. Then read everything until you get to the next root word that steps out. Does that make sense? Now, that will let you know, like what we did with man. Manager, manacle, manure, right? Manifesto, manuscript, all dealing with hand. You get my point? Yes. Now, that's what that'll do with it. Now, whenever you start looking through it, because you just highlighted very lightly, because some people will be like, highlighting all of this. No, that doesn't help. Just highlight that small word, the root. Okay? And then all of that will come to mind. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, whenever you're just looking for another word, it'll pop out and you see it and you'll remember that. It'll remind you. Now, let's say you read a word and you don't know what it means, and then you get to your dictionary, you look it up, oh, and you highlighted it already. Read it all again. Because you had to look it up. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Read the whole thing again. No matter how long it takes, some of them are 3 pages long. Not most of them, but some of them. That's your punishment, okay? Or your training. Read it again. Because what will happen after a while, the word will come up and you'll say, oh, that's on the right-hand side of the page. And you'll have it. You'll get it, and you won't have to use it anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's how you use the handswear. What are the pages on the back that I told you to stick little pieces in there? You can't find a word. Put that word on that piece of paper. Keep it there. When you come to class, pull it out. Then ask me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Then I'll say, this is where you find the root for that word. Does everybody follow me?
Yes.
And that's why you string the highlighter there, so it's always there. Okay? Because the problems, I've had all of those problems. Lost my highlighter, don't got no papers, all those things. But when you have it organized like that from Jump Street, it works like clockwork. And you finish it real easily. Anything. But it is going to be easy for you because I'm going to, once we finish this, I'm going to go through the Quran with you word for word. Inshallah ta'ala. So we won't have to worry about that too much. But on your own, we get it done. Inshallah ta'ala. That's if we go to course. See, the course is step by step. Problem is, most people want to skip. Right? And then they wonder, why did I miss something? Because you skipped. Right? All right, so that's how you use handswear. As far as this, handswear has nothing to do with you learning how to speak Arabic. Okay? That's a different function, a different approach that we have to take to that. When learning how to speak Arabic, you have to learn how to communicate, how to open your mouth, how to find words that you think about in what? English. Right?
Yes.
So our handswear is set up from Arabic. Right?
Yes.
So how are you going to find a word you want to figure out in Arabic? You can't find it in there. In English. You can't find it in there, right? So this book here, you have a word in English, any word, you can pretty much find it in there. It's not going to tell you the declination of the word. It's not going to tell you the root and all that stuff. It's going to tell you the word, how that word is said. And then there's sentences under there showing you different ways on how that word is expressed. And that can help you out. Even better, that's if you want to use that. You don't even have to use that. And you can still learn. Why? Because you're in my class. Alhamdulillah. And in my class, we have everything set up. We got the mats, baby. As they said, right? We've got, I've been teaching Arabic since the 80s. Okay? So, to English-speaking people. So we have all that experience. And I'm not that smart, so I made a lot of mistakes. And then after that, I figured out how to get around that. So it makes me look smart. but it's because of it, doing that thing over and over and over and talking to people and figuring out how they did it. Because one of the backwards things we did, we went to Arabs to ask them how to learn Arabic. Well, how's an Arab going to know? He's going to say, well, you get born in Mauritania or in Senegal or in Sudan. And then as you're growing up and your mom's breastfeeding you, she's going to say, if you can't do that, I don't know. How else are you going to do it? my point? So, you know, the same thing. We have to go to those who had to learn it. Okay, you have to make an external effort to do so. And the thing to do is to use these cards here and the other things that we're going to use today. So in our class, this is your lesson for today. We have a lot of stuff to do. We're going to get to practice a lot. Let me help you out. Can we go forward? Everybody ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody ready to talk?
Now.
All right, now, I'm going to be giving you guys like handouts and things like that so that when I give them to you, I expect you to work with you. I'm going to give you a list of words, okay? I'm going to, by the next lesson, I think it's Monday? Monday, I'm going to give you a list of words. That's going to be your vocabulary words, and I want you to learn those words, okay? I don't want to hear no nonsense about those words. I want you to learn. That's going to be the focus of your study and the words that I give you in class. Did you see that?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you go to college, the teacher says, I'm going to stomp my foot when it's going to be on the final exam. We're not studying for an exam like that. We're studying for life. So we need to know everything. Everything is on the test. Okay, the things I say and the things I thought. So that's how much attention you got to pay in class. Okay? So I'm going to give you that. Focus on that because the dialogues follow that vocabulary. Okay? And that vocabulary is a strong vocabulary. It's focused on what they speak in Medina and Mecca. Why? Because those are the main two places we go. Right? We try to go there first and foremost for what? Hajj, Umrah, right? So that's our first. We're taking care of our first need. Okay? Quran and going to make that Hajj and Umrah. Does that make sense? And then our Arabic expands on that. Arabic is not one of those languages. See, again, we're talking about politics. Politics always plays a role in education. Okay? Because you see from where you sit. Right? Knowledge is biased. Okay? Everybody's going to apply that same rule based on their circumstances. Sah wala la?
No.
Sah. Kullu sah. Ay, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. So for our perspective, we have to understand why Arabs think that there's different dialects and my dialect is so different from yours and I can't understand you. Because you'll find Arab people say, well, I can't understand him. He's from Philistine. You know, I can't understand him. He's from Muslim. But I'm from Brooklyn. I understand both of them. Why? Because I'm trying. You get my point? That's all. Yes, everybody's dialect. And who told me there's different dialect? Jews. Why? Divide and conquer. The bottom line. And all I got to tell you is that look what happened to the Fulanis. The Fulanis had this whole area, and they had a serious cavalry. Serious cavalry, right? So the German and the French and the British, they came in and said, look, how can we stop this cavalry? I know what we'll do. We'll draw borders. We'll say this part is Nigeria, this part is Niger, this is Chad, this is Cameroon, and this is CRA, South Central Africa. It's all these countries. Now, there's one area, so this piece, you're over here. This is your piece over here. You got over here, and you're over here. So now forget this part. Now you're all different countries. They were one country. They forgot this now. And now he says, I am Niger, okay? Nigeri. And I am Nigeri. Nigerian. You know what I'm saying? And I am Cameroon. And I am CRA. You know, and I am Chad. They're all one people. They're all Fulani. Okay?
And they went for it.
They went for it. We go for it.
I about to say we go for it.
Now
Bloods and
there is
Crips.
a new kingdom between Egypt and Sudan.
Oh, forget it, but that's right. There used to be Egypt, and Sudan. This didn't used to exist.
Yeah.
It's a dam, okay? A waterway.
Yeah.
Okay? You know, where are most of the pyramids?
Sudan.
Sudan.
Yes.
Egypt got nothing compared to Sudan.
That's right.
They got what, 3-4 pyramids, right? Five pyramids over here. They got a whole valley of pyramids over here. Hundreds of pyramids.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
unknown to the West.
None looking like the ones with the broken nose. These look like Bubba. Okay? There's no question. You think you're watching a Fat Albert in the Cosby Show, you know, cartoon. Because it's that obvious who those people were. That obvious. But when the Europeans came, they said, hey, listen, Egyptians. This is that guy Lawrence of Arabia and those guys. He said, listen, Egyptians, you know, there's a place you call Alexandria, Scandaria, right? Scandaria. Do you know why you call it Scandaria? He says, yeah, because Alexander the Great came over here. Oh, then really you're white. You're Greek. You know, and we're only going to deal with you. We're not going to deal with those, you know, those darkies in the back. They were mad at the Sudanese. The Sudanese were the first army. The Sudanese army was the first army to destroy what they call the British wheel. The British, in wartime, had an undefeatable system of shoot, load, shoot down at the bottom. So there's constant, it's like a Gatling gun. They shoot, they step forward, they shoot, they step forward, they shoot, they drop down, they shoot. And there's a constant barrage of fire. And they were destroying their enemies in this way. Nobody beat them but the Sudanese. The Sudanese said, no, that ain't going to work with us. We prefer Shahada. We want you out of here. And they charged. Sudanese, they said the British, even with their guns, had to stop when they was in awe. But these people charged.
Yeah.
And they said, sorry?
The Sudanese mighty broke.
They broke them.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali. And they came through and they overran them. And they said even the people who witnessed it amongst the British, they were just awestruck. And the war we respect they had for him. Huh?
Muhammad Ali is Egyptian. Usman Digna.
Usman Digna, I'm sorry. He said Muhammad Ali was the Egyptian. Usman Digna is the Sudanese general. And they ran over their position and destroyed it. British didn't even try it no more with nobody else. Yeah, I mean, he just cracked the code.
Cracked the code.
The Sudanese cracked. But then what they did after that, they said, y'all not the same country no more. Sudan said, we ain't talking to you cats no more, you're sellouts. They didn't have conversation until what? I think it was the 80s when they started, or maybe it was the 90s when they started talking. When did Sudan and Egypt start talking again? Because they didn't have any, after that, they didn't have any relations, any diplomatic relationships with each other for years. When did Egypt and Sudan start talking again?
No, till now, Egypt is conquering part of the...
I know, but they didn't have diplomatic communication, not even an embassy. We're neighbors. You don't even have an embassy, you know, between them, you know, for years. And I remember sometime, I think it was the 90s or the 80s, they began to have at least conversations with each other. But like he said, they argue over the Nuba area. Egypt flooded the Nubian area. Yeah. You know, let the dam flood the whole area, you know, and destroy the area where all those people were living. After that. Huh?
I'm sorry. It clicked with me why I was mistreated so badly on the Egyptian air because my last name Nubian.
Yes, the Nubians get treated very bad in there because they destroyed the whole area for the Nubians. Okay? So yeah, we're going in with a name like Nubi, they think you're an enemy too. You know? Which you are. Because the people in Nuba look like you. So, so that's the point. You get my point? Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. All this, and everything, you know, the Hutsi and the Tutsi, we heard about that, right?
Yes.
You know they're the same people.
Yeah, they're the same people.
You know what they did? The British said like this, hey, you're going to be Hutsi, you're going to be Tutsi. Hutsi, Tutsi, Hutsi. No, I'm dead serious. That the British said, look, we need to divide these people. And they said, as we give out the identification cards, let's call some of these people Hutsi and the other one Tutsi. Okay? It was almost, even brothers like, oh man, I didn't know I was Tutsi. MashaAllah. You get my point? And then before long, after a while, now we at war with you. We kill each other. But if they did a DNA thing, there would probably no difference between either one of them. Okay? So you make a difference. But the only way you can stop that is through education. And you think they're going to teach you that in American school? No. No. So then stop going to them expecting something that they're not going to give. They're going to tell you their story, the way they want it to be done. That's right. And you got to tell yours. And shouldn't be upset that no one else is going to tell your story. And then you have to do the proper research to find what is the real, believable story in that regard. And as Bilal Phillips told us back in the day, the difference between us and them is they factualize their emotions. Okay? Well, we emotionalize the facts. That's what we do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So, back to our lesson. And all this is part of the lesson. Because you have to have a sense of izzah, sense of dignity for yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. First words we need to run down today are who, what, when, and where. Okay? Who, what, when, where. These are all questions, okay? Okay? Now? Okay, because when there's a bunch of words for when in Arabic. But when as a question, that's only one word. Okay? So the word we're going to use for when is mata. Everybody say it?
Mata.
Mata. Now I'm going to give you another word. Everybody say jit.
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 Jit means I came. Say jit.
Jit.
I came. Now I use it to you and I say meta jit. That means when did you come? Okay? When did you what? Arrive then. You get the point? Does everybody understand me?
Yes.
It's from the word ja'a. Everybody say ja'a.
Ja'a.
Do you know the word ja'a? Have you heard it before? Naam, sami'na. Where did you hear it? Either ja'a nasrullahi wal. So we know the word, right? So ja'a is he came. Jittu is I came. Say jittu.
Jittu.
Jitta. Point to somebody and say jitta.
Jitta.
You came, right? Now say mata jit. Ask me. Jittu busa. Okay, I came about an hour ago. Get it? Jit. Now we say jit because you say jittu, jitta, like that. So the first one is meta.
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 Meta jit.
Meta jit.
Okay, now we go to who? Say men.
Men.
Now you can say men or you can say mean. Like somebody's mean. Everybody say mean.
Mean.
Now make a mad face. Mean.
Mean.
Somebody's knocking the door. What do you say?
Mean.
No, say it like you mean it.
Mean.
Hold on.
Mean.
Man, I don't know. Lisa, if someone's knocking at your door, what do you say?
Mean.
You'll say it in English. Who? In English, you say, who is it, right? The one word in Arabic means that whole sentence. Is it Arabic powerful?
Yes.
Okay? So it doesn't mean who, it means mean.
Me.
Say it, mean.
Mean.
Or you say man.
Man.
Say it like a question. Man.
Man.
Go like this. Man.
Man.
Go like this. Man.
Man.
Everybody. Man.
Man.
Everybody, Dawood. Man. Come on. Man. Body language. Body language. Body language. Man.
Me?
Up to Taubah. Who are they about you? When my children, I knock on the door, and I say, man, they say, Hawa. I say, she's not here. Meta. Man. Who is that? That's literally. Men who? Or you can say men who. Because you don't have to say the last one. You can say it either way, right? Men who. Let's say I kid here. I say men who. Men who? Who Rajul? Mustafa?
No.
Who Mustafa is it? Men who?
She's at A3 now. She's at A3.
Good, huh?
Say
Alhamdulillah.
man who?
Men who?
Man who?
Never mind, don't worry about it. Assalamu alaikum, down. Men who?
Yusuf.
Who are Yusuf?
Man who?
Not man who. Ask her man who, man he. Now if it's a woman, you say he. Man he. It sounds weird for English, right? Who is he? Right? Man he. Ask her who her is. Everybody, stand up. Kumu, 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 kumu. Kumu. Now go and ask somebody, Manhua. Point to somebody. Just make up a name. If you don't know the name, find out. Okay, now there's another twist to this, guys. You can say, let's say I come to him and say, ask me, men. Men. You see what I said? Men. You get it? You get my point? I'm like, men. Hua. Then he says again, hua. Ah, hua. Okay. You get to my point? Do it. Okay, now ask the person, Metajit. You tell them in English. Say, Metajit.
Metajit.
Metajit. All right, everybody, introduce. That's right, you can say it in English. Introduce لو سمحتم. استمعوا. Next word is aina. Say, everybody say aina. Aina. Aina who? Where is he? Right? Aina he. Where is she? And he and who also means it. Okay? So you can say, yeah, I'm looking, let's say I lost this, okay? Aina who? Who? Ha who? Ha who? Do you know the word ha? Yeah. It's a word that uses the point, don't you? It's just ha. It's to gain your attention. Don't we see it in the Quran? Ha-ula'i and ula'ik is the same word. Ha is just before ula'ik. Right? Ha-ula'i. Ula'i. Right? Ula'ika. Ha-ula'i. Same word. But the word ha-tha. Ha is just the word to give you attention, right? Ha-antum. Ha-ana-tha. Everybody go, ha-ana-tha. That means here I am. Ha-ana-tha. Ha-ana-tha. Everybody follow me? Ain't no who. Ain't ha here. Atini. Atini. Shukran lak. Ha who. Ain't no who. Now you can say aina. Aina. And that's what it means, right? Now you'll hear people say Wayne. Or fame. All they did was drop the last sound and put a fa or a wa in front of it. Wa'ain. Fa'ain. But instead of saying fa'ain, wa'ain, what do they say? Wayne or fame. Just like we say want, right? We don't say all the time wa'ant, right? Just like we say sup, right? We don't say what is up. We don't say how are you doing. Did we say that? We just say how you doing. We just drop the R out, right? R, how are you doing? We say how you doing, man? If I came and say how are you doing, that's she's it's a little bit stuck. It's just like, right? There's something stuck there.
It's very formal.
It's the same way if you say what ain't a ant. You know, it's kind of formal. It said wait ant. Faina. Okay, fain. It's not slang. No, it's just normal speech. We got to get it. See, sometimes we have this word slang. Okay, and that is a racist term too. Okay, because if we think about it, what does it mean? It means that you're not talking proper. Unintelligent, right? Daddy jet, as we call it, right? Now, most of that, what we call slang, is poetry. Most of that is real intelligent. Because when you start looking at poetry, you say, man, that is playing with the language. Right? And it takes a thought Oh, I get it. That makes sense. Why that would be done. It's efficient. So we have to stop looking at, is that slang? I don't want to, no, man. It's not, don't embrace it. Why? Because when you go to poetry, you say, I don't get it. Man, if you could just chill for a second and take a real good look at it, no, sirs, you'll see that it is really smooth, really expressive. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Hey, so we say Aina,
Aina,
Fame,
Fame,
Wayne,
Wayne.
Okay, so the next one is ma. I'm sorry, what? Say what?
What?
Say what? Say what? Say what? Say H. H. That's the easiest way to say it. Now, there's a couple of other ways to say it. I'll teach you them later. But H is clear. H that. You're smiling, right?
What about shoe?
Shoe. That's another way of saying that.
shoe.
Have shoe. Mother. Ma. I mean, we can run some words down. Emte. I can say emte here, right? We can say a bunch. Aish is pushed down. But I'm not going to write that down. I'm not going to write all the words that we can use. I'm not going to write all the words. We're going to use shoe. Shoe that. Okay? Shoe.
Oh, these are the slangs.
نعم.
These are the slangs.
These are slang.
Okay.
على ما قلنا الآن ليس فيه شيء. تقول إنه سلانج كيف يتكلمون الناس؟ إن كان الناس يتحدثون هكذا وهو يريد أن يتكلم ويقول له شو لم يسمع هذا أبدا فهو يكون يعني متحير. صح ولا لا؟ فيجب على الناس أن يتحدثوا في كلام الناس. يعني كيفيتهم كيف هؤلاء. وهكذا يعني قصدي بتكلم الناس هنا بهذه يعني نوعية. إن شاء الله. إن شاء الله. نعم.
So are you suggesting that I have to forget all the tajweed I've learned?
Yes, you have to forget all the tajweed you learned when you're speaking talk. When you want to recite Quran, use every tajweed rule you know. Okay, but do you talk English in tajweed? Meaning, do you speak and pronounce every sound when you are talking English? No, you don't. And people feel that's kind of like, what's wrong with this person? Why are they speaking in this particular? No, we don't do that. Listen, I said we don't do that. But that sounds more natural to your ear when I say don't, as opposed to don't.
Do not.
Same thing here when you're speaking. Our objective is to speak. Let's not lose our goal. What are we trying to do? Speak and be understood. The best speak is to be understood where the person doesn't hesitate and try to wonder what you're trying to say. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you go to a person and you say, Aish hada. What is that, right? Hada. Everybody know hada? Hada. Dhalik. Dhalik is something far away. But they're both words that you point to. Okay? Hada kursi.
هذا كرسي.
Right? ذلك الرجل. هذه صبورة. هذا قلم. Okay? ذلك القلم. See, because it's far away now. So we know هذا وذلك, right? قل هذا ذلك هذا everybody كلكم هذا ذلك. So now if we have that, you can understand, you can say ايش هذا ايش هذا. Anywhere you go in the Muslim world, they'll understand. ايش هذا ايش ذلك. Everybody will understand. Okay? If you're in Tunis, if you're in Saudi, you're in Masr, you're in Sudan, you're in Chad, you're in Mauritania, in Maghrib, or in Palestine, or in Iraq, and you say, Aish hada, everybody will understand it. No one will hesitate. Algeria, Maghrib, نفس يعني القوم. البربرين. You know, everybody's going to understand. نفس القوم, same people. نفس قوم. Same people. Alhamdulillah. في ذلك نرى في ذلك فهمتم؟ في is the most used word in the Arabic language. It doesn't just mean in. It means regarding. And it's used like that more than anything else. So when I said في ذلك, I don't mean in that. What do I mean?
What is that?
Regarding that. You get that? But don't worry about translating. Just understand fi is the most used word in the whole Arabic alphabet. I'm sorry, in the whole Arabic language. Fi. It has so many different usages. Bina'in, building on that, is the word in. Anything around that. You get my point? Kullu shay'in fi dhalik. Yani, fi. Inshallah ta'ala. Hey, انتظري شوي. كلكم استمعوا. أين كلكم أين man. Anybody have one of those phones? I think. Give me with your left hand. This is what you think about. Man? You guys get the voice? Ring. Man? Okay, everybody understand?
Yes.
Man or mean?
Or mean. If you say mean, you have to extend it. Mean. Yeah, like that. Mean. That's understandable. Man. Mean. Okay? Or if you want to be like you said, you want to be slick, but I'm not going to teach you that. Anyway. Matter. Okay, that means when. Okay? I'm going to give you $1 million. What are you going to ask me? Get the bill hot. Now, right?
Or it turns to toilet paper.
MashaAllah. That's somebody that grew up in the Panthers. You can hear that. So, we have these words. Anybody have a problem with these words?
الشيخ تكلم هذا وهذا هي.
Okay, I'm not going to talk about that right now.
Okay.
Only because I particularly left that part off. See, there are some things that I leave off intentionally because knowledge is by degree. Okay? So I introduced today هذا ذلك هو he. You get my point?
Yeah.
Now I didn't even say he yet. If you notice that, I said he. Referring to her, right? He. Who. Huwa. Now we can say he. Okay, we can say he. But it's he. Just like you say who. Now there's more. There's a lot more. But right now we don't need that. Because I don't want you all to get confused. Now he won't get confused, but he already speaks Arabic.
No.
ليس.
شوية.
First I said no. Then he said, no, شوية. And as we continue, ممكن أفهم بسيط. See, all this is, people have to understand, people on his level, and Nazir, and other people who are already what I consider speakers of Arabic. Now, what I know, because I'm a teacher of Arabic. Okay? Now, you have that a therapist, because a speech teacher is a speech therapist, period. Doing tajweed is speech therapy. Okay, so you have somebody who can walk. They have the physical strength. The injury is over. But they're still, struggling. What do they need? Practice, right? They don't need the crutches no more. The crutches have now become a crutch. But they got it. But they're scared. Right? And what did I say keeps people from speaking? Fear. False evidence accepted as real. Right?
Yes.
So that's what prevents them. So all they need, he has a vocabulary, a wasi, beautiful vocabulary. All he needs to do is stumble through it. And then get used to that, and then you start learning, having more efficiency in that whole thing. So alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Anyway, so we have these words here, right?
No.
Everybody got me?
No.
Now we're going to go through our normal conversation that we do. Now all we need now is some practice. That's what we come to do right now. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
كيف حالكم؟
الحمد لله.
الحمد لله أنا بخير جزاك الله خير شكرا جزيلا. الحمد لله. أنا أبو توبة مخلص وأنتم؟ ما شاء الله. من أين أنتم؟
بلد جورجيا في مدينة الدر.
ما شاء الله ما شاء الله. أنا من نيويورك. ما شاء الله بارك الله فيكم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. أنا أستاذ أدرس لغة القرآن وأنتم؟ لا ما فيش طالب هنا. لا لا I don't want to hear طالب. That's cheating. Okay, everybody can say that, right?
No, I'm Taliban.
Nah, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. If I ain't stopping, you ain't doing my job.
I'm Taliban, man.
Taliban. Listen, this is the thing.
I'm Al-Qaeda.
The thing about it is you have to give me your job. أنا طبيب. That's what you say. أنا طبيب.
اتقاء.
لا بأس اتكاء أو تقاعد. أنت طبيب. وما دمت وستكون طبيبا. Even if you're retired, that's what you say. You know? أنا كنت طبيبا. Did we have that where everybody say كنت? I'm fine. كنت. What does kun mean? No, what does kun mean? B is one of the biggest words in every language. Okay? So get used to it. Okay? When Allah uses the word kun or the verb kana, it means something for Asma'ullah al-Husna, the names of Allah. So you have to understand the word kana. And it's relevant for what I'm saying right now. I said even if you're retired, you say kuntu tabiban, right? Or ana tabib, right? Why? Because when you say kuntu, now I would say kana tabiban, right? He was. When I say kana Allahu, what does it mean? It means Allah is, was, and shall always be. Ghafurur Rahim. You get the point? We call it azali. So you see we're now where the rubber hits the road when you start understanding that about Arabic. He doesn't stop being a tabib because he stops going to work and getting paid for it. Did he forget everything? Tabib is a doctor. Teacher has a bunch of names.
Well, you Ustad because you're like a professor.
Okay, Ustad is a professor, but you can say Mudarris, Mudarrisa, right? Muallima. You get my point? Muallima. Mu. Everybody say mu. Mu. That means one who is, right? One who has the qualities of the rest of the verb or the concept. Allama yu'allimu wa allama Adama asma'a kullaha. Allah allama Adam. He made it known to Adam. He gave him ilm. You get my point? So a mu'allim is someone who makes something known to others, hence a teacher. Mudarris. Mudarrib. He's a mudarrib. He's a trainer. Yudarribu nas. Makes them go over. But a mu'allim is a mudarrib also. He trains them. I am udarribukum al-an. Right? I'm hitting you back and forth over, making you do it over and stuff like that. All that's part of it. Okay? Sometimes when I describe myself, I know ustad, udarrisu, wa mu'allimu. You see, I'm using all forms of my verbiage for my job title, my career choice. هل فهمت يا أستاذ؟ الحمد لله. قل نعم فهمت. نعم فهمت. Now, I don't want just na'am from you guys. I want you to give me more. Everything you got. Fahimt means I understand. Or you can say fahima. Fahima. For them. For them. I'm gonna make you sit on the other side. When you say fahim for the men, say fahim. But the ladies can use the men's form. And there's no sin upon them. What do you call a wife in Arabic? Zawj. What's preferred? Zawja or zawj? Zawj. What's the proof? Al-Quran. What does Allah say? Uskun anta wa zawjuka. He didn't say uskun anta wa zawjatuka. He said uskun anta wa zawjuk. You get the point, guys?
Yeah.
So we can show that. in the lugha, those things are acceptable, but it's not acceptable for the men to use the female for themselves. Okay? Have فهمت?
نعم فهمنا.
And the reason why I want to drag that extra word out of you guys' mouth to get you used to it. إذا لم تقرأ ولم تكن
فاهما.
فموتكم خير من حياتكم.
دائما.
حياة بلا علم حياة مضيعة والعلم بلا تقى العلم لن ينفع إذا لم تقرأ ولم تكن.
فائما.
Come on, hesitation. موت.
موت.
يقتل. Right? إذا لم تقرأ ولم تكن فموتكم خير من حياتكم.
دائما.
إذا لم تقرأ ولم تكن. Come on, say it with me. إذا لم تقرأ ولم تكن فموتكم خير من حياتكم.
دائما.
If you don't read and you didn't understand nothing, then you're better off dead always. Then your death is better for us than your living. And that goes to saying that it's better to have a good enemy than a stupid friend. Right? That's an African thing. Why? Because what does a stupid friend do?
Nothing.
Get you killed. He ain't nothing. He's worse. You know, at least a good enemy stays in his lane. I love the KKK.
Keep you on your toes.
Right? They honest. They wear their colors good. I stay over here. When I see them coming, I'm ready. But when you have, you know, a dumb friend, it gets you in trouble. Get you caught up all the time.
Yeah, might tell you, don't worry about that.
Oh yeah, don't worry about. Come on, let's play act stupid and get you hit by a car. You ain't got to worry about the other guy. You know. So that's what the point is. That's why mautukum khayrun min hayatikum.
دائما.
Because you don't got no. You لم تقرأ لم تفقه. You don't understand nothing. إذا لم تقرأ ولم تكن فموتكم خير من حياتكم. إذا لم تقرأ فموتكم خير
من حياتكم دائما.
Okay, so we have this thing here. So let's go back to our thing here. Assalamu alaikum. كيف حالكم؟ يا هلا يا هلا أهلا وسهلا أهلا وسهلا أهلا بكم. مرحبا 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 بك مرحبتان. Say أهلا بكم.
أهلا بكم.
قولوا يعني مرحبتان مرحبتان
مرحبتان.
أهلا وسهلا أهلا بكم.
أهلا بكم.
These are all greetings. Okay, they all basically mean I'm pleased to meet you. I'm so happy that you came. Welcome, welcome, welcome. In our language, in Arabic, greetings are very, very, very important. Before you can move on to anything, the greetings have to be there. If they're not, it ruins the relationship. In our culture, it's all about the relationship. Or haven't you noticed? You've noticed, because that's what you are like, right? Someone comes, our culture, we love respect. If someone comes and shows you respect, you almost gonna do anything. You're going out of your way for them. Sah wala la? Sah. Okay? Now, this is what I want you guys to understand. Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
كيف حالكم؟ كيف حالكم؟ أهلا وسهلا. لا بأس الحمد لله شكرا. أهلا مرحبا. مرحبتان. أهلا وسهلا. تفضل. See, smile. Which is hard to get out of Nazir. Yeah. See, he getting back. He's trying to get mad again. Now, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Now, you got to have those serious guys. But you guys get the point? Say, ahlan.
أهلا.
Ahlan, ahlan.
أهلا أهلا.
Just repeating the words in Arabic gives it to you. Ahlan, ahlan.
أهلا.
Tafaddali, tafaddali. Aywa, tafaddal. You see that? Everybody gets happy when we use those types of words. So we learn to say ahlan.
أهلا.
What does ahlan mean?
Well,
No, it doesn't. Ahl has a bunch of meanings.
Yeah.
One of the original meanings of Ahl is family. Okay? When we say you're Ahlin for something, that means that you rate it. You're deserving. You're qualified for it. Right? Why? Because your family is qualified. Right? You guys get my point?
Yeah. Now.
For family is free.
now.
Right? Fa for ikhfa for family, the formula is for free. Right? We say that when we learn the tajweed of ikhfa and the letter fa. Fa for ikhfa for family, the formula is for free. Force 40 for yourself and turn around and see 4 or 5 front teeth fall upon your inner lip and gently form the fa before life forces them to split. Fa. See, when you say fa, you got 4 or 5 front teeth fall upon your inner lip. Say f. And gently form a fa, because it's gently, before life forces them to split. Fa. So it has ikhfa, fa for ikhfa, for family, the formula is for free. Force 80 for yourself and then turn around and see. 4 or 5 front teeth will fall upon your inner lip and gently form the fa before life forces them to split. Okay, we put a poem together for every letter in the alphabet. And we call it master letters. That's because when we first became Hafiz Quran, I was visiting people in Egypt, and I saw this was the beginning of that super Salafi stuff, you know, where everybody was like, yo, I'm over here. And I said, man, you know, what are you guys doing? I mean, I was over there in this village memorizing Quran. What are you doing? Oh, we studying Mas'ala. Oh, no, what you guys are, oh, man, we studying issues over here, too. We studying Hadith. Oh, yeah, which book? You know, we were just studying. I said, man, guys, you really didn't do nothing. You're just on the phone talking to people back and forth. So, man, guys ain't even mastered the letters. So my brother-in-law said, man, those of us who from Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, if it's not that way, we make it that way. Okay, so you've mastered the letters after Taubah because you got to go to Mauritania. Most people don't get to go to Mauritania, right? So he says, why don't you show us how to do that? So I wrote a book called Master Letters. And so we took a poem for each letter. Now, what made me think about it right now is because we talk about the word Ahlin, right? And so in that poem it says, fa for ikhfa, for each poem, it has the letter and everything about that letter that I would have wanted to know when I first started studying. What's the tajweed rule? Fa.
It's a lip letter.
It's fa for ikhfa. It has the tajweed rule is ikhfa. That's so it says ikhfa, so you don't have, it's not idhar, right? It doesn't have idgham. It has ikhfa, fa for ikhfa, the formulas for free. Now we put a whole bunch of English words in there so you can know that you can pronounce that word, right? That letter. It's not a new letter. Fa for ikhfa, the formula is free. Force 80. 80 is the number for it. Each letter has a numeric number. The formula is for free. Force 80 for yourself and then turn around and see. Now we describe how to do it. 4 or 5 front teeth. When you look in the mirror, it's only 4 or 5 front teeth. What do? They fall upon your inner lip and gently, that's the makharij. Gently form the fa before life forces them to flip. You know, split. So we did it like that, alhamdulillah, for each letter, so that you can know what you're doing. And we'll go over that as we're pronouncing the letters, so you know how to say sabura. Right? You get my point? You know, so that we could also know how to do it. And we, people of rhyme, ours is an oral tradition, right?
Yes.
We like running our mouths, you know? And kick it. No, we kick it with a bobo. We're king of the rap. But we've been using it for the wrong reason. Now we have to take that skill and use it in a way that enhances us. So, so we said ahlan, say ahlan, ahlan. That means family, family. But what does it mean? You family. And you got all rights of family. And not only you welcome, you are ahlan, meaning you're deserving to be treated like family. You get my point? It's your place. It's your ahlan. You know what I'm saying? You family, ahlan, ahlan. Marhaban bikum. Marhaban is like, you know, you put up the sign when somebody's coming to town and say, hey, welcome. You know, we're giving you the key to the city. Marhaban, marhaban.
Marhaban, marhaban.
Right? Urahibukum. I'm greeting you. How does it, like, I'm welcoming you, but welcome is so weak compared to marhaban. Okay? That's why we can't translate. You have to have the feeling. Marhaba is joy on the arrival of the guest. That you're honored that they came to your house. Okay? That you get the honor of hosting them. Marhaban, marhaban. There's an old poem. تراه إذا ما جئته متهللا كأنك تؤتيه الذي أنت سائل. They said تراه إذا ما جئته متهللا. You see him when you go to his house? Mutahallilan, happy and joyful. Yay, come on in my spot, right? كأنك تؤتيه الذي أنت سائل. The idea is this. Why do you go see, as a young man, whenever I wanted to do something, because we the last of that old school, you know, we knew to go to our elders, right? If you want to get something done, you go to your old heads and you say, yo, how do I get this done? Can I have some help? Tell me, put me on. And if you're nice and polite, they'll share some of their wisdom with you, right? Right or wrong?
Yes.
Okay, especially the older generation. We know the older generation don't tell you all type of stuff. You know, that could have been her brother, you know, and you didn't even know for 100 years that was your uncle. Because they just keep secrets. Yeah. You know y'all do. Especially those older ones, okay? Okay? And so, if we're picking it up, so the only way you want to get any information is through some respect. Right? You show them respect, you show them that you can handle the good information, they'll share it with you. So this is a concept of sayyida, of being a sayyid. Okay? Everybody got me? Now, everybody likes to be a sayyid. What is a sayyid? A sayyid is the one that provides for his people. Does everybody follow? So when they need something, they go to you. You're the go-to man they go to. You're the go-to woman they go to because they know that you know, or you know someone, or you can get it done. Does that make sense? Okay. So, some sayyid are tougher than others. You know, you got to come in, head down, you know, got to, you know, na, 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 na. Right. Some people, you might have to. Some people, but some are not like this. In this poem, the guy says, and they say this is the most, in our poetry preceding the Quran, that line I gave you is our poem that precedes the Quran. Okay? And this is what they would say if they wanted to compliment someone. That was a sayyid. They said, what type of sayyid is he? He's the type of sayyid, tarahu idha ma jittahu. Said, you see him when you come to him? When you come to him for some need? You get the point now? Mutahallilan. Happy, like, yeah, come see me. Come on in. You know what I'm saying? Not like, you know, you got the doorman, what you here for? You was called? Let me go check and see if you can come in. Yo, it's your dirty nephew. He ain't here. Tell him I ain't here. He ain't here. You guys get my point? That's one type of sayyid. And you just gotta wait. But this type of sayyid, when you see him, when you go to see him, he's like, hey, come on in, come on, hey, you're right, come on, let me get you something. تراه إذا ما جئته متهللا كأنك أنت سائل. It's like you came to give him the thing you came asking for. كأنك تعطيه الذي أنت سائل. Came like you came to fulfill the need that you came asking for to him. Now, isn't that a sayyid? Everybody get the point? That's why, that's what it means. Like I said, don't translate welcome. Marhaba is that. That's marhaba. When you say marhaba, you gotta mean that. Marhaba. Get it? Ahlan wa sahlan. You family and everything's gonna be made sahlan. Easy for you here. You got it.
You feel welcome, like if you
Nah.
know the person, it's in danger. You say,
Ahlan wa sahlan. I got you. Whatever you need, I got you. Ahlan wa sahlan. Marhaban bikum. Marhaban bikum. Right? Right? We got you. You're more than welcome. You're here. Everybody got my point? Yes, I don't like to translate these words because they don't have the same emotion and attachment and idea and concept. So we have to express it like this so we can understand. You're not gonna say that to anybody that you don't like. If you don't mean it, you say Salaam alaikum. I say, Ayu khidma. You know, at your service. Ayyu khidma. At your service. That's what it means. Ayyu khidma means like whatever khidma, service I can do for you. Okay, this is polite, but it's not marhaba. You get my point?
Nah.
You just giving him his rights.
More than his rights. Ayyu khidma, I don't have to do any khidma. But I say ayyu khidma, that's really nice. You know, but marhaban is on another level, akhi. Is what my point is I'm trying to make to everybody. Capiche? يعني أنتم تفهمون? الحمد لله رب العالمين. So we covered a lot of things to this morning, right? We covered a lot of things, and I hope, inshallah ta'ala, I don't really need to go, but I do need to see you guys practicing with each other. Okay? So we're just at the introductions, right? But use these words. Use words like man. Ask about, people. Man or me. Aish. Aish. You get my point? You say this. If you know more words, no one's restricting you from using those extra words. But share it with the person you're talking to. Does everybody follow me? Yes. Now I made sure everybody brought their cards. Now we were going to write in here, but I had no idea about how short the time was going to be. The time went so fast, and I don't want to take advantage of everybody's weekend. No, I'm sorry.
ذلك صبورة صبورة هذا ما هذا؟
هذا ورقة.
ورقة.
هذه ورقة. ورقة صح.
نعم.
أو بطاقة يسمى بطاقة. لكن نستطيع نقول ورقة ونستطيع نقول بطاقة. يعني there's different levels. If I say this is a piece of paper, or if I say this is a card, it's both a card and a piece of paper, just like we say in English, right? We can use those different levels of wordings and everything. Aish kida. Aish, see you heard? Aish kida. What's that? Okay? Aish kida. Hey, alhamdulillah. Don't worry about that, though. Don't worry about that. Hold that. We're going to deal with that. There's a lot to do. Are you guys doing your homework?
ايش ده؟
Aish da. Aish da is good. Aish, what is that? What's that? You know why I want you to understand this? No, say the word that. Now say the word dhalik. The word that is actually the word hadha. It's called ha. That's just to get your attention. That. That's a word in Arabic. That. Okay? So you can say aish that. But that means exactly what that means. Just imagine you're from Harlem and you speak broken English and you'll say that, you say that. But it means the same thing. That means that. Aish that. Say that. Just like you say that. Just say aish that.
Aish that.
هذا قلم, right? كم هذا or كم ذا. You can say كم ذا.
Is Aish from Shay?
Aish, yes. Ayyu Shay.
Yes.
Aish is from Ayyu Shay. But I told you don't have to say Shay. You say Aish. And we in Mauritania we say Aish Shay Tariyan Fi, right? Ishtariga. Ishtariga. Ayyu Shay Tariyan Fi. What's fresh? Do you see the language? It literally means what's fresh with you. Tari. Fresh like fresh fish, fresh fruit. But we say, hey, the tari fi. What's new with you? Then I say it's flavorful. Somebody say, well, that's slang. Nah, that's speech. I ain't saying tari and fi. But we say shtari. Ishtari, right? Ishtari fi. Shtari ga. Nah. Tara. Oh, you say shlonak. Say shlonak. Shlonak. Real easy. Shlonak. Shlonak. What does shlonak mean? What color are you? Shlo. Aish lonak. Ayyu shayin lonuk. Get it? You're lone. Doesn't mean I'm brown from the boogie down. Nah.
كيف حاله؟
It's like saying kayfa haluk. But you say kayfa haluk somebody you don't know. Right? Or you want to be proper. But when you see somebody, you see on that shlonak. What's good? Yeah. You say kayfa shlonak. Then how you feeling today? Right? How you looking? Right? Don't we say that? And look, sick, especially if somebody was sick, right? Shlonak.
Sisters do not talk like that.
Oh.
I'm sorry, we don't. I mean, y'all brothers may do, but I.
How would you say it?
Just how are you?
كيف حالك? You know? كيف حالك? Okay?
That's like street talk.
But you can still say it's not street talk. It's still, I'm telling you, it maybe sound like street talk here, but in Arabic, everybody speaks like that.
They do.
The ladies are bigger poets than men.
I was speaking for English.
Okay,
You know,
because ladies say, hey, study, what's fresh with you? What's going on good with you? Same thing. But you're not, that's why you have a bunch of ways to say it. I'm just saying that relax with it, have fun with it. When you have fun with it, you play with it. When you play with it, that's what learning is. Because play was designed to be educational. That's why we give the blocks and the guns to the boys and the crib and the girl toys to the girls, right? So they can educate themselves through the play and know what to do. With the language too, play with it. تكلم. حتى إذا غلطتم. If you make a mistake, ما فيش مشكلة. لكن نتكلم. هل فهمتم؟
نعم فهمنا.
أيوة. Yes, sir.
So is there a reply for Ahlan wa Sahlan?
Yes. Jazakallah khair. You can say Jazakallah khair. You can say Ahlan bikum. If they say Ahlan wa Sahlan, Ahlan bikum, they took everything, right? Because they say Ahlan wa Sahlan, Ahlan bikum. Say Jazakallah khair. And then make dua for them. Okay? Make dua. Allahumma barak feek.
فهمنا.
Make dua for them. You're not stuck. We have a whole bunch of dua. Jazakumullah khair covers it. Allahumma barak feek. Shukran jazila. Okay? Waffaqak Allah lima ahab. Ameen. Ameen. You guys get my point?
Nah.
You're never stuck. Anybody?
Yeah, one question.
Yes, sir.
Online. Jameer Roberts. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Jameel.
Will a picture of the list of words be posted in the
No.
group?
The picture of the list of words will not be posted. Anybody who's online that wants to get in touch with us has to get in touch with timbuktuedu.com. Okay? Anybody online, you have to come through our website and you can get it. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Timbuktu, will you post it up there? Timbuktuedu.com.
Inshallah.
And they can do that. Inshallah. Anybody else?
He asked the question what the homework was.
The homework.
Shayma.
Shade that.
H that now.
H that. The homework for you guys is to take these cards and your pen. Now that we have it, nobody can say they don't have it now, right? And start writing. Where's my book? Sad.
Where did you find that book?
I bought it so many years ago. That's like I bought it like 2000.
You said .edu?
No.
Timbuktu.edu.com.
Timbuktuedu.com. I don't know. I mean, I've had it for such a long time. Yes,
The
ma'am.
children's course, that can adults enter?
Yes. Children's course is not. We always catch parents listening. We set it up for children, but it's for beginners as well. Okay?
So you want us to just write these words down?
No, I want you. I gave you guys. Your homework is this. Don't look at the 1,000-word list right now. Okay? Don't look at that. Yeah, don't look at that. No, I'm saying don't look at that. What I'm saying for you guys, everybody has the bataqa, right? The awraq, right? Everybody has their pens, right? Now, since I'm here, does anybody have, what words do you need to know in your house? Name something in your home.
Refrigerator.
Okay, thalaja. Everybody say it.
Thalaja.
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 That's fridge, okay?
Stairs.
Sulam. Okay, let's write it down. Anybody who wants, anybody gotta go. Anybody else want to stay, you can stay. من يريد أن يبقى فليبقى، من يريد أن يذهب فليذهب. لكن إذا ذهبتم لابد من السكوت. Stairs. These are stairs, right? سلم. 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 And this is the thing, the box with the Okay?
Refrigerator.
No.
No.
I don't want you to say it. What's that drawer, man? Tilfaz, shasha. That thing right here with the guy like that? This is shasha. Shasha. And if you don't have a shasha, that thing that you use on your computer, that's a shasha. Okay? Shasha. Now, yani shasha. They used to have dots here, and the Tonight Show, you know. Shasha.
Sheikh,
Now, Rafat.
مسألة مثل درجة.
You can say daraja, Rafat.
نعم.
There's a couple words you can say for a lot of words. Okay?
درجة.
I would call it sulam.
سلام.
Sulam.
Sulam.
Because of the famous poem سلم الوصول إلى علم التوحيد واتباع الرسول. And Allah says سلم إلى السماء. Allah mentions the word sulam in the Quran as a way to go up to the sky. So this is my choice of words here, inshallah. But you can use that. Didn't this guy say he doesn't speak Arabic? Aish there.
شوية.
In fact, now it's here. This right here has kutub in it. Okay? Don't say it in English. And you can call it a rough. You can call it a rough with a double F. Rough. Rifaf. You know? Rufuf, right? تقولوا رفوف. Rufuf. Rifaf. Rufuf.
Plural.
Oh no. Okay. Well, Rifaf. Don't say rufuf.
Finesse. Finesse.
Miknesa.
Shell.
Nah, Rifaf.
كيف تقول
لا تقول كيف تقول لا تقول أو تقول يعني كيف تقول إيش table طاولة طاولة I do not want English. After we say kursi. You can't see. You got. I don't know what this how to make it look any better than this. Who can draw? Anybody can draw? Come on, you graffiti artists. Dawood. You do advertising? Okay, here goes. There's two things. You have a fern. Fern.
Good job.
Kursi.
Jid.
MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah.
Okay. Fern. Fern is the bottom part where you make the things. Okay. Fern and mounted. Mounted is the top part where you cook the rice and the things like that. And the fern on the inside of the fern is where you make the cakes.
And the bread.
And the bread. And this is for toast. Old school.
I don't know about that. That's gas, man. They don't lecture, man. Lecture don't make no sense.
Oh, no, that's
You don't do that.
It's just
You got gas. They don't know about the gas, man.
Fern, mounted. Mounted is the top part. Mounted. Mounted. Don't you wear glasses?
All of them.
Y'all, you don't have to sit down. You can get up, guys. You can get up and move around.
With shoes.
Shoes. He's that. Ni'al. Let me go like this. Here's some shoes. I'm sorry. Ni'al. Or hidha. Hidha.
حذاء.
حذاء. شكرا. حذاء. Okay? Shib. No teasing. Sarawin? Sarir. Okay. We're gonna get you.
Not wise.
Now I'm just transliterating it. We know it's Sarir. 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 This is where someone goes to sleep. Let me put this guy right here, and he's sleeping. I'm right here. No. Ni'al. Ni'al. Or hida'a. Hida'a.
And right on that thing, Shaikh.
Shakhir.
Shakhir.
Shakhir. Hey. Shakhir. ما Shakhir. ايش Shakhir?
Snoring.
Oh, Shakhir.
Ghurfa. So we get the point. So we take. Hold on. Ghurfa.
Ghurfa?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to call it. Let's do this, guys. We have, a couple of rooms here. We have this thing called the living room. You have the bedroom. You have the, what's the other one rooms you have?
Sitting room.
Kitchen.
Kitchen. And what else?
Sitting room.
Huh?
Dining room.
Dining room. Dining room. All that's the living room. The living room, dining room, family room, sitting room, all the same room.
The living room, you get to go in there.
We used to call ours the museum. My parents were having all type of people coming over to the house, And so my parents like, don't touch our stuff. And we was like, oh, man. It's y'all said that's right, don't touch our stuff. So we could go in there, so it was like a museum. Don't touch. You could just look at it. That room was really clean. It just wasn't our room.
And you have a den if you want.
Well, you have a den right there. That's going to be your maktab.
Is it?
Yeah, your den is like a maktab.
Den is a small living room where everybody socializes every day.
Well, when my den, I read and
Living room,
study.
you don't go in there,
Living room, you don't go in there? No.
Somebody they got.
I'm going to call this one Ghurfatul
That's
Julus.
chairs. That's southern. That's old. Well, southerners are good. You ain't never going to look into.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that right?
Yeah.
They're not get up.
That's for like guests.
Oh.
Guests.
Well, that's what I'm thinking my parents were saying. You couldn't go into the living room either.
That's yeah. But the other room was the den with the TV and everybody sitting.
Nah, see, we didn't have that.
That was sitting room.
We had the living room and your bedroom.
That's how the house is set up different.
Yeah, Ghurfatul Julus, Ghurfatul Naum. Sorry, Naum. Matbakh. Toilet room. And the toilet room, we call it a hammam, okay? But really it's not, because the hammam is like the bathroom where you take a bath, The hammam, we call it the mirhab,
Mirhab.
Yeah, mirhab. Sometimes, so many places they use the khalawat. يعني كيف ماذا تقول يا شيخ؟ يعني للغائب. يعني خلع. بيت الخلع. بيت الخلع. And the reason why I don't know that word too much because in Mauritania there is no such thing. There is no bathroom. It doesn't exist. Maybe at the airport. Outside of that, it's just go out. Beitul Khala. Khala. Right, Khala. So it's like you go, because the Khala is to be a Khalwa, to be by yourself. Okay? A Khalwa here means to be by yourself. Okay? Khala wila shayatinihim, right?
No.
The language. Any other terms we need in the house, just off the back?
Could you pronounce the word for kitchen for me?
Matbakh. Matbakh. That thought. Matbakh. window, matbakh. Nadara, glasses. A window, shubbak. A window is this thing right here, where you go like this, you have it there, and the sun is right here, right in the room in the house. That's called a shubbak. Shubbak.
وباب أيضا.
Nafida, that's for a car. Nafida is on a vehicle. A nafida is like on a ship or a vehicle, car. You know, you have a porthole, you know? So shubbak is, no, I did it wrong. Shubbak is a double B. Shubbak. Everybody say that. Shubbak.
Now, Arik, online.
Arika. Arika is what the thing where everybody sits down on. Arika. What is this thing? It's like this.
No.
You know, and sometimes it's on these things right here. Arika. Arika, not that Arika. Arika. Don't say that other word that you guys said in English. Arika. Source of back pain. Arika. Ala al-ara'ik. Allah says in the Quran, the plural of arika is ara'ik. Ara'ik. Yes, ma'am.
Is that Beitul Kulla?
No, Beitul Khala. Khala. Beitul Khala.
Beitul Adab.
Beitul Adab. Beitul Khala. You know, and Khala is to be away from everybody else, okay? So that's the room that you go in to be by yourself. Take care of your private need. And in Arabic, it's so beautiful. You don't say, you know, in English, you say, I have to go use the toilet. I have to go use the bathroom. You don't say that in Arabic. You say, right, what is it, TMI, right? You know, in Arabic, you say, I have to take care of a private need. Okay? That covers, and you got to use it for more than just using the toilet so for it to be understood. If you have to go use the phone, if you have to go straighten out your kufi, if you have to just go outside and take a breath or get a drink of water, you say what? I have to li haja. Li haja. I got to take care of a haja, right? A private need. فهمت علي?
نعم فهمنا.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. So you understand what I said? I said فهمت علي. Have you understand about me? What I'm talking about? It's basically I'm saying نامين. فهمت علي؟ That's بلاغة for نامين.
نستعمل البلاغة.
نعم. ونحن نحب البلاغة. الحمد لله. Sometimes alhamdulillah. Some of the pronunciations are Arabic. You know, hey, where you get them keys from? Boss baby.
Oh, Miftah.
Miftah. That ain't got nothing to do with the house. Miftah. Bab al-Asasi. You know, the front door is called the Bab al-Asasi. Right, and you can say Bab al-Asas, the front door, right? So the Bab al-Akhir, you know. Anybody else? Wa alaykum salam, wa alaykum salam. Kursi. Oh. That's all the general words, right, guys?
No.
Yeah. Stick right here.
What's the utensils, the pots?
And then we say sujood. Sajda, sujood.
That's not sajda, what's it called?
Imagine.
Not sijada, sorry.
Sajada. And then sujood.
Sijada.
لا الثقل طعام في على الفرن.
Awa'in, we're not going to talk about those right now. Right now we're talking about the main things. Awa'in, you're talking about pots and pans, right?
I heard somebody ask over there.
No, I get you, but I'm just saying right now I want to get the general rooms because bit to Dutch.
Yeah. No.
One piece after first let's put these things up and then we can stop talking about them in English. Say I was sitting on my arika in my house watching the shasha, right? Yeah, seriously. That's what we do. I was sitting on my arika watching the shasha, and then I heard my son doing his homework on a Taubah, you know? Sounded like he was in his Syria.
Eating my pork.
So I know, you know, then I heard somebody's little ni'al going over near my thalaja. Right?
That's right.
And that woke me up out of my, so I came down to Sudan. And I got my other hijab. And I went upside his head.
Oh, don't do it.
eating my iftar.
He was eating my iftar. You know?
MashaAllah.
Iftar, iftar.
What are you talking about?
مثال مثال
Ni'al.
نعال
Ni'al.
Ni'al.
نعال
Ni'al. Ni'al.
ماذا سجادة؟
Mother sijada. This is a sajada. This is a sijada.
Oh,
Sijada. This thing right
زيادة
here.
على الأرض.
And an arm. Shubba. Yeah, it's a bad shubba.
Is it a narration about like that? Is like okay.
Okay, does everybody get these words? Anybody?
Word in the
Tell me
Quran.
the words and I'll tell you because y'all making fun of my words. Shubback is that right there. That's a shubback. I know, but forget my drawing. That's the shubback. That stuff, this thing up
it's
here.
supposed to be a window.
Oh,
with
don't
the
be
sun.
saying words in English in my class. This is a shubback.
شباك
Shubback. Say shubback.
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 You can draw your shubback any way you want to. As long as you call it a shubback and don't throw rocks at it. Sijada. This is the sijada. We pray on it when we come to the masjid or even in our homes. It's a sijada.
Is the root root the same as
Sajda.
sajda?
No, nafsul asl. Sajda. Now you guys making fun of my drawings, Queen and Zinga. I said if anybody could draw, y'all could take over. Now this wasn't what, it's not going to work unless you use these words, right?
Yes.
So now with these words on the board, I want some joint sentences. You saw how I made a sentence, not a sentence, a little paragraph, right? Make your little funny paragraph about the things about you was in your Syria sleeping and then the people in somebody inside the Thalaja was calling you, right? So you thought you had left the shasha on, right? So you got out of the Syria, put on your ni'ab, went into the Ghurfatul Julus, you know, looked out the shoot back and there was still night time.
They call you from the
The milk
Thalaja.
inside me.
أنا بارد أنا منفرد أنا لوحدي ساعدوني سريع
نعم أنا اللبن داخل الثلاجة أخرجني إلى بطنك الدافئة.
أغثوني يعني أدخلوني سريع. That's right. Every
I'm
night.
in the Thalaja.
Sariya. And sometimes during the daytime.
No, I think it's gentleman right
No,
there. Ma'am, Shokani, whatever they do,
no,
whatever.
hey, guys, look, I said Ghurfa, but I meant Ghurfa in front of all of these words. Ghurfa to know, except for Matba. It should be Ghurfa. Ghurfa to know. Ghurfa to Julus. Now, Matbakh is by itself and Baytul Khala is by itself as well. Okay? These are the general rules in your house. The Ghurfa to noun has a Sariya. Okay? Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته وجزاكم الله خير.
What's that? Ni'al.
Ni'al, those are things you put on your
I
feet.
know, but what's that in me separating the
There's a dash. A dash, you say like ni'al. Not ni, but ni'al. It's just for pronunciation. Ni'al. Say it like I'm saying it. Ni'al. That's it. I just did it that way to try to write it.
Okay, what about how you pronounce the word under it?
Hida'a.
Same thing.
Hida'a. Hida'a. You can say hida'a for short, you know. This is general, guys. The point is, again, use it, use it, use it. Any other questions?
That's right.
Ghurfa. Ghurfa to Julus and Ghurfa to Noun. My English is worse than my Arabic.
No, I'm talking about the preface to these different things. The preface of it, right?
Ghurfa.
So all of those are saying it?
No, just these two. Because Ghurfa means this word. Room. Okay? You just يجزون بغرفة بما صبروا ويلقون فيها تحية وسلاما. Allah says in the Quran, أولئك يجزون غرفة. A غرفة. They get a room in Jannah. بما صبروا, because they were patient, persevering. ويلقون فيها تحية وسلاما. السلام عليكم. Right? A tahiyya. You know, hey! They get greeted at the Jannah like rock stars. Right? Why do I say it that way? Because, dig it, when you, not just that, when you're coming into Jannah, when you're entering into Jannah, Allah says, Inshallah, barakallah fikum ya ustad, barakallah fikum, mashallah. When you come into, if Allah bless us to go into Jannah, Ameen.
Ameen.
We'll be told we'll be entering into Jannah in a karima or tahiyyatan wa salama, which to me gives the impression of a ticker tape parade. We're coming in with all the paparazzi. Why? So when we look at the hadith, it tells us all your ancestors that were Muslim, that got to Jannah before you, all your lineage that got to Jannah before you, everybody that you affected, you gave someone shahada, you taught them, and they taught their grandchildren and their grandchildren, and they know about you. They hear you coming into Jannah, they all rush to the gates of Jannah. And when you come in, they be like, hey, assalamu alaikum, amen, you my great-great-great-great-grandchild, we made dua for you to become Muslim, or this, that, and everything. Oh, mashallah, you gave my father shahada, you gave my great-great-grandfather shahada, you know? You taught them this, they talked about, all these people going to be meeting you saying, assalamu alaikum, mashallah, he's here. Isn't that beautiful? So that's why we say, أولئك يجزون بغرفة بما صبروا ويلقون فيها تحية وسلاما. Okay? ويدخلكم مدخلا كريما. Allah says, and he'll enter him into Jannah in a kareem, in a real generous, a lovely way. Now that's beautiful, right? English can't catch that with a translation.
Oh my goodness.
MashaAllah. That's a beautiful thing.
Ghurfat al-julus is this, and ghurfat al-nawm.
So what is the difference between the noun and the other when you say yes?
Nawm is not na'am. Na'am. Nawm. Known. This is known. And known is only at nighttime. You cannot known in the daytime.
So what is the word for that? The word for when you take this?
When you take a nap,
Qaylula.
qaylula. Right, qaylula. You know, so it's like Arabic really teaches you. Because even in English, we're supposed to call it a nap. We're not supposed to call it sleep. So it's a nap in the daytime, qaylula. It's even psychologically different. You know, for the person who's taking the qaylula, that what happens to him at nighttime, when it's totally dark, your body sends off light at nighttime. That's why they say that, now they're saying that one of the benefits of night, and why total illumination is a crime. When they feed people in jail and they have them in total illumination for years, you know, it causes insanity. You know, you need darkness. Your body physiologically needs it, or it gets told that it's already communicating. You know, because you're communicating with yourself. There's so many beautiful things that this theme teaches us. You know, nighttime. That's why when we started as the Adab al-Talib al-Ilm, what did we say? You know, we talked about so many health things, right? Yeah. Psychological things. I said, make that room a room for sleeping, right? What's it called? Go to know. Well, do what you're supposed to do in that room. It's not the matbah for you to go eating in there. You know, it's going to throw you off. But if you make it for ghurfa to know, and you go in there and you close your eyes and you turn off the lights, your body's going to really, really enjoy that room. And then you go to the other room, your body's going to be like, okay, now it's time to eat. It's the eat room. You know, this is, you know, like I said, you don't go to the Baitul Khalat to go, you know, eat or sleep and do things like that. right? Because it's inappropriate. It's clearly inappropriate in those areas. You know, similarly, psychologically and physiologically, having those other rooms is vital for what they call the shen fu. What is it called?
Swing fei.
I'm not a Chinese teacher. Feng shui. Feng shui.
We're getting there.
We get it. Feng shui. But I do love Chinese, and I think that we need to learn some Chinese as well. There you go. Thank you. Twinkle check. I'm sorry. Okay?
Tell me to work with children.
Children. Yani fitna. There's a bunch of words. Dhurriya, right? Dhurriya. Awlad. Allah uses those words. Okay? ربنا هب لنا من ازواجنا وذرياتنا قرة اعين وجعلنا للمتقين اماما. Okay? So that's dhurriya. That means your progeny, your lineage. But awlad is the general term for children in general. Awlad. Okay? From the word walad. All right. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakallah khair everybody for coming out. You know, jazakallah khair everybody online for coming and watching and taking part in it. Please join us at the website so that you can continue and get other benefit. And we'll be again here Monday, inshallah ta'ala. Bring your cards. You know, again, if you have these things here, if you no, that's too small. It has to be big. It has to be. May I borrow one, please? No. See, how you gonna see? We're gonna have. That's good. See, look. You see this card right here? Name a room. What you gonna give me a word?
So we not this one.
Refat. Okay.
That one's good too.
Look.
That's normal.
No, I'm saying this. This is how you write it. You write, why do you write it this big? So you put that on the card and you put that on your refaf, just like that. And every time you see your refaf, you say, refaf. Hey, how you doing, refaf? Yep, yeah. And you get it. It's like that. The Prophet ﷺ used to talk to his clothes. You know, give it a name. Refaf. Okay? Right? Sahib al-Kutubi. Yani tawwila. And that way when you see it, you don't need to put the English there. Okay? That's why I said get a thin pen on the other side and then tape it. That's why you got the tape for it. Shukran. You get the tape. And you just put it on there. And let's say this is a refaf. We just put it there. And you leave that there till it falls off. Well, even after you know the word, leave it there. You know? And then refaf and stuff like that. And you always remember this is a, whatever, if it was a refaf. Does everybody follow me? Do not make it small where you say, what does that say right there? You won't know. That's why I said get a Sharpie. So you can write it big on there. Refaf, clear language. Like I said, my English writing is not the best at all. But, you know, I hope you get the point with the words. And if you find any words you need to know on the general things in your home, the general things that you can put, because you can't put, you know, these tags on your pots and pans and burn up the house. Right? So we're not going to do those. The general things. On the door to your go to factor now, put go to factor now. If you want to put it on the wall next to as you're going into the go to factor julus, put it on the go to factor julus. Okay? Or go to factor istiqbal. We call it another one, the front room, the greeting room. You know, put that on the wall. Eye level. Okay? You don't want to put it high, you want to put it eye. So you see it all the time. And you're constantly reminded, this is good factor no. This is good factor istiqbal. This is good factor julus. This is matbakh. If you have multiple entrances into your matbakh, put the sign on both sides of the matbakh. Okay? Matmar is the hallway. Matmar, because it's murur. Okay? So you have that there. Inshallah. On your shubak, Put a thing on your shoe bag.
No.
Okay, everybody?
No.
And by and by, you will, within a week, you will know the names of these things. Inshallah. And it won't make a difference because you're not going to forget because it's right there. صح؟
صح.
أيوة الحمد لله. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب